Hello everybody and welcome to the night's game of the OCE University League of Legends tournament, where we are about to see an exciting best of 3 between two Div 2 teams that are fighting for a spot in the grand finals. My name is Shinzo, and joining me on the cast is Reinhardt.
Hi everybody, I hope everyone's been having a good day, and hopefully we can bring you something just as good to sort of continue the streak and end the night off with. Now today's two teams we've got playing. We've got Noodle, which I believe is on the left side for game number 1 as the blue team, and Updog on the right hand side as the second team. It's quite interesting names that they've decided to pick for themselves because everyone likes to be unique and funny in a way. I mean, that's what really makes League of Legends fun when in like a team circuit based series, isn't that right, Shinzo?
Yeah, definitely, and we all love our food. I love my noodles, and they do too, and they all have their names. Udon? Do you like the udon?
Just maybe a little bit. I haven't really tried it too much. I try to stay more local, like my schnitzels and stuff like that. Schnitzels and pizzas and the regular stuff. Udon's something else.
Anyway, going on to the champion select. So we have on the blue side with the first pick Kai'Sa, obviously probably the best AD carry in the game. She can build either AP or AD, giving flexibility in the mid lane and the top lane, and a really good scaling champion.
That is true. Although ever since her debut in the mid lane, she has now got a couple of really good roles, mainly top and mid lane. She can do well in ADC and jungle, but that's really personal preference and how teams can play around each other type of situation. I'm liking that we've also got, sort of non-traditional champions being played at the moment. Like we've got Jinx, who's a regular hyper carry, and Kai'Sa, who is just doing very well since her debut. I mean, she's one of the very few champions that doesn't really need to scale off of, or doesn't really need crit to be viable. She can go through a variety of builds, I guess is a better way of summarizing it. But I'm really interested in seeing a Skarner. I have not seen Skarner played in quite a long time. Like, I'm very interested in seeing how Desbang is going to be playing Kai'Sa for game number 1 tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I think we have seen quite a little bit of Kai'Sa coming up. Skarner coming up in popularity these days. Obviously, providing a lot of utility and strength with the Predator summoners, the rune. So his ganking at level 6 is really strong. Also, is really good with the Aurelia, just locking someone down and bursting him down immediately.
Yeah, and like ever since they introduced this new runing system where you have a keystone that can be like an extra ability or like another item, as you said, predator. You know, it only works when you have your boots, and it's an active based item. So for those of you, a little bit of a tip: if you go down the domination tree, it's good to get, I believe it's utility hunter, where all active items cooldowns are reduced.
Yes.
So that
right.
predator actually becomes active a little bit more often. Now, I know you start off small, but you work up to around 15%. So, you know, the cooldown, if it's 150 seconds, then you take off 15% of that. So it's like 0.85, and that's how much you have just from that there. And then, like, you know, you start looking at other extras as well, like boots of, I think it's boots of lucidity or boots of cooldown reduction. It, like, also reduces the cooldown on active items by a further 10% even more. So it's like, it gets even shorter.
Yeah, definitely. And just the amount of CC and also layering, even Jinx can layer out with the traps, so lots of really strong team fighting tools there. And also, obviously, talking of team fights, we have Janna coming in, offering a lot of peel for this hyper carry Jinx in the late game, hoping to stave off the aggressive bot lane of the Kai'Sa and the Alistar that has pretty high kill potential in the lane phase.
That is true, but even though that does sound promising, the difference in a situation like this is that this is a team-based environment. Solo queue solo queue, it could be very effective, it could be very viable. In a team-based environment, it can go either way. Like, from what I'm seeing at the moment, we've got Kai'Sa and Alistar bottom. Alistar can be really good to try and either push Janna out of combat, or even so much as like CC her, so that way she can't get her shield off just as quickly on Jinx, and Kai'Sa can get an entire wombo combo out. And since we've got Aurelia being played for one team at the moment, or should I say being played for Updog, it could be very interesting, because when she gets 4 stacks or full stacks on her passive, champions like Aurelia with their shield is just going to be completely negated. And because it just goes down very quickly. And so I'm very curious to see how this is going to go about. And I really like how they changed it last second, that Aurelia is going to go from top to mid lane. Just, the amount of the psych out that they're sort of providing so far. It's just like, if it's effective for the team, well, I hope it is, because it was just effective for me just now. My mind just completely went scramble bubbled.
Oh, and they changed back, I think.
See, that's what I'm talking about. That is exactly what I'm talking about. They changed everything. They keep changing it around. I believe in the policy for this competition that they have to have it locked in by the 20-second countdown point or the 15-second countdown point. So the fact that they did it once again, it's like they were trying to. This could be very interesting. Kayle versus Garen. Kayle will have a bit of more of a comfortable situation, unless she actually gets to, unless her, I believe it's her E, goes on cooldown, where Garen can essentially just go straight in on her face. Her ulti will be very good once it becomes active, but until then, she might need to be a little bit careful about herself.
Yeah,
and then we look over in the mid lane, Orianna versus Aurelia. If Orianna gets caught in Aurelia's E, then she will pretty much, be in a bit of a tough spot, because she already loses a chunk of health, and it resets the cooldown on Aurelia's Q. Now that's what I'm really going to be interested in seeing, whether Aurelia, this game, Thermal, is going to be very active with her abilities and just wombo combo the heck out of it, to the point that I feel like I'm going to have epilepsy just looking at the screen.
Yeah, definitely. Aurelia is infamous for that 1v1 champion in the mid lane. In the pro play, you see it. Every person that plays Aurelia in the mid lane just somehow gets a solo kill in the mid lane. So it's up to Clarity to be really diligent about that, not to get caught in the stuns and not to get ganked by the Skarner. Talking of the Kayle, I think Kayle is actually quite a hidden pick against Garen. I think, at first thought, you glance at oh wait, I didn't even realize Kayle is a good champion against Garen. You think Kayle has the invulnerability against the Garen ulti. He has the slows to kite the Garen away, and he has the range as well to constantly attack Garen in the lane phase and proc his passive.
Well, I think it's quite clear that ever since Faker managed to debut Aurelia in mid lane, it really puts things in a different perspective, that people need to start thinking on the other side of the spectrum. Just because they're built as AD does not, well, just because they have been brought out as AD does not mean that they are going to be AD all the way through. Players can use the champions any way they so fit. And I'm very curious as to what's scribbling there. It sounds like you're scribbling on a blackboard or a cardboard of some sort.
You can hear that? I'm just cleaning my monitor. That's all.
I can hear that quite clearly. It sounds like you're cleaning. It sounds like you're either writing, like, text it on a piece of cardboard or, I don't know, something of the sort, because, like, you can hear the texter.
Well, then I'll avoid doing that again.
Well, with these champions, with the champion blockouts done, the champion's been selected, everybody in their proper roles, we will go to a quick little break while we get ourselves ready and synced up for game number 1 between these two magnificent teams. So don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back. Interesting to see them both fighting. Alistair charges in bottom lane, gets a knock up, but gets denied with bubble from Jana. Kaiser tries getting close range, but does miss out a little bit. Now we're seeing a fight in top lane, Oriana versus Kale. Jeez, this is just battle central at the moment. Just mid lane's fighting, jungle's fighting. Bottom lane is now being caught out again. They do catch up with Skarner and back off immediately.
Yeah, every lane just trying to, get the confidence up, battling out, see who's stronger in the early game and get some wrestle that lane position.
Exactly, and it's really more of a battle for dominance and lane, control over lane at the moment. We can see, Oriana has taken control and pushed it all the way into turret against Kale. Kale is very low, like Oriana is really throwing her balls at her and is really trying to force her either to base or just block her out of the game entirely. Because if you can block your counter player out of game, you're pretty much going to not only slide ahead a little bit further, but make it a little bit more comfortable for yourself and your team. Alistair jumps in and gets another wombo combo with a knock-up. Does run away a little bit. He doesn't get that stun off. It is a little bit of a ball breaker when you try and get that final chain spark off. Skarner's coming down bottom now. Alistair is caught out. He does charge on to Skarner to gain some distance and get himself out of a tough situation. It is just a fight back and forth right now. Like, this is just juicy. Yeah,
but the Alistair is trying to really punish the Janna, who has no escapes, and early game Jinx's damage is pretty low, so Alistair with that aftershock is pretty safe to go for these trades, but at the same time, I think there's a little bit of miscommunication. Every time Alistair is going in, Kaiser is not using his W to get those stacks in and do even more damage.
That is actually a very valid point, and one thing I do have to stress is that they're always in a tough position. Kaiser's always behind enemy minions, so if she uses her W, she has to try and time it correctly. Here we go. Trundle catches out Jinx. Jinx goes in, 5 stacks off of Kaiser, and First Blood goes to the support. What a kill stealer.
There we go, and really good wall control along the river. They knew that the jungler is on the top side because Trundle just cleared out the whole bottom river. Easy gank, First Blood for Alistair.
And now we've got another helping in mid lane. Just It looked like Trundle was gonna make some ground there, but Aurelia caught guard and backed off immediately. Really impressive from her. Skarner, I like what I'm seeing. He is being so aggressive. He is already over in the top half of the jungle. They know he's there. They've caught wind of him through warding, and now they're going to try and make vision of it. Skarner also made himself aware and got out of there as soon as he could. Oh, look at this in top lane. We've got Kale versus Orianna. It is a close fight. Very I thought Kale was going to win that actually for a second there. First it was Orianna, then Kale turns the tides, and now it's happening again.
Oh my goodness!
Almost managed to take out Kale. This is absolute amazing. And then we've got to follow up with a heal to try and keep her alive. She backs off under the turret. She has ulti up, but I don't think that will actually help her if she gets caught out once more. So basing at this point is a very, very interesting option. It is possibly the safest option she could really do. But no, it looks like she decided to actually sit there a little bit longer. Orianna catches out Garen. Garen does get himself out of there pretty easily. I'm really liking what I'm seeing so far. There is just a lot of action everywhere, and so far, we've seen a lot more from Updog, but we've seen more successful gameplay from Noodles. And as we can see, Toronto goes in against Kale. Kale gets that ulti up. Skarner charges right in Orianna. A defensive response happening. A follow-up ulti from Orianna again. A flash. Another flash followed by Kale. Toronto was beating on Skarner's face. He really wants to club him. Both teams back off pretty easily. Oh, Skarner's being a little bit aggressive.
Yeah,
What's he looking at? It looks like he might be trying to go for something here.
Oh, he was looking at Orianna, who had no mana, and saw the Aurelia coming up, and Aurelia could be going for a dive. He has level 6 ultimate, and he's gonna decide against it. So
he's going to decide against it. It was smart that he actually responded so easily, but Garen also pinged the rest of his team. So even though Aurelia was already heading up there, Orianna was sitting in her own turret, ready to bait, or was already basing. Aurelia was not going to make it in time. Like, well played response from Garen right there. I'm not going to really say his name because it's just a bunch of letters and I don't think that really makes an English word.
Yeah, and that top fight, extra hits here and there, and both teams get a kill, and that could have been another kill for either team. So really playing on the edge of the health bars in the early game right now, and Garen finding these big Qs onto Aurelia.
Yeah, Aurelia does well to engage by getting her E off and then follows by a Q, which will reset her Q since he has been marked. But he responds in kind with also just slamming his sword on her face, so even though she's getting a good one-by combo in, he's just responding with a simple Q, and it's just like, haha.
At least Aurelia is actually winning really hard in the CS department and is up, 20 CS already. And looking for a solo kill here, Garen has to flash away.
He flashes away pretty well. She gets Ignite on him, but he has too much health to actually survive that. And his passive will actually help him, stay in lane for a little bit longer.
Yeah, but I don't think it really matters because Aurelia is still looking to back, so she is going to back safely. Pick up maybe boots too. We'll see.
Predator has been activated. Sorry to cut you off, but Predator's been activated. Flash from Skarner. Skarner ultis into Orianna. She gets a shockwave in, but unfortunately to no avail as Skarner claims a very clean kill from her.
Yeah, and we talked about this, the Skarner with the Predator, so much speed, it's really hard to avoid a gank. Even with the pink ward in the river, Orianna, even with Flash as well, couldn't avoid the gank.
No, but as well, that's really unfortunate. Skarner used Flash to get in right on her face, slow her down, ulti her, and pull her back into the fray. And it just worked way too well. It was a really good premeditated situation that they managed to play out quite well. And even though they managed to claim a kill down bottom lane, it feels like it really came at a cost that they lost an opportunity at Dragon. Even though it's only Ocean Dragon, Ocean Dragon is really good in lane phase, especially when they're not going up against each other in any form of champion fights. I guess we'll call them champion fights. They're not really dueling each other out so much at the moment.
Yeah,
so it's really good to get that passive mana and health regeneration, which is really good, especially when you need to recover from getting forced into another fight, one that you're not really keen on getting into.
Exactly, and I think we have to touch upon that the Noodles team comp has actually a little bit more sustained than Updog, so have Updogs with that Ocean Dragon should be looking...
Look at the top lane, Orianna's being caught out, Aurelia's gone right in on her, manages to miss both abilities, but Orianna's going to go down on the turret, a flash response from Aurelia, Kale ultis and takes all turret damage. Trundle now gets a pillar onto him, and he's gonna try and charge in. Oh, he does pull back last second. There was a lot of pinging in top lane, just on the minimap. There were so many pings from both sides. It was really unfortunate that Noodles couldn't really get up in time. Couldn't get up there in time. Alistair goes in on the turret. A double ulti response. Jinx is forced right in the battle of that. Kai'Sa goes in, flashes out, kills Jinx. Now is running backwards in the opposite direction. She might be out of zone right there. Kayle has teleported in. Just look at Skarner. He's just pretty much running around to make sure Kayle gets a kill.
Oh, I don't think he... yeah.
She does get a takedown, which is really good. But I think, ultimately it did come down to Skarner and his Cinderhulk passive. So it was really good that he tried giving it to Kai'Sa. He tried giving it to Kayle, but since Kai'Sa was already low enough, and then we've got Skarner's jungle item passive, which is like a molten fire, just periodic damage. It was just eventually going to take her out.
Yeah, and you can see with Jinx going with the barrier and Janna with the heal, there's so much sustain in that little skirmish, Kai'Sa went in, thought she could get an easy kill with that ultimate, but instead, had to take tower aggro and had to run all the way to the enemy base just to secure the kill.
Alistair comes in with a wombo combo knock-up, an ulti response from Aurelia. Now the fight's coming in 2v3. Skarner having to force himself out of there very quickly. It looked like things were going to go in Updog's way, but then as soon as they saw Trundle coming in from nowhere, it's just like, nah, we have to back off right now. And it looks like we're having a 3-man situation mid, possibly 4. Skarner's going right after Trundle to prevent a base. Doesn't really do anything, so that's pretty good. But I'm really interested in seeing that we've got Jinx and Janna mid lane now. Aurelia possibly might be coming back mid, or going bottom, depending on what they do. Okay, so it looks like it was more or less just a defensive response. I really like that. There was a lot of team communication coming from Updog, and it's really nice to see that they're communicating well. They're coming to each other's aid, and they're trying to minimize any chance that Noodles is going to try and overtake them. Because so far, if we look at the gold count, we've got 19.4, and that is at least 7k. That's at least 700 gold above Noodles, and at this stage it could still go either way, but trying to keep that gold accumulation difference is pretty good. Alistair comes in, a flash defensively from Jinx. Well played by Jinx right there. She gets wombo comboed from Alistair, but flashes right behind her turret, so good on her for getting out of a sticky situation like that very easily.
However, Alistair and Trundle are a really strong diving competition, so having that flash down could be very vital within the next 5 minutes. And we'll see if Trundle looks for a play in the bot lane. But looking at the warding situation from Noodles, it's really, really good. They're just covering all the jungles. A deep ward in the blue side jungle.
Bottom lane. Sorry I had to cut you off, but we got a fight here in the bottom. Just Orianna's been caught out. A flash from Kayle and another response, but she goes down. Being under turret for too long, she used her ulti a little too soon. But it's okay, she got a kill out of that. She's ahead in CS, she's got a kill, which is tied, but the 3 assists make up just as much of a difference. Now I'm also being informed that can our administrator or our head streamer switch over the positions on the scoreboard between Orianna and Garen? We've got a little bit of confusion on the scoreboard there. Now, looking how things are going at the moment, there is a lot of warning happening from Updog. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wards in the bottom side of the map, mainly in the jungle and both jungles and river. I think one of them is possibly the river scudder, but nonetheless, there is a lot of control happening from Updog. They really want to seize control of this game, even though no turrets have gone down yet.
Yeah, and it's a bit of a rough game for the Orianna. We saw the solo kill from the Kayle. Even though she had to burn flash, it's still pretty worth it, I reckon, because it gets the XP advantage, gets the heal advantage as well. So right now, the only lane that is working for Updog is that Kai'Sa in the bot lane, who is up quite a bit of gold, 14 CS up, he's got a kill, he's got an assist, so being that hyper carry, having that money is a good thing for Updog, and hopefully he can carry this game in the later stages.
Wait, so just for those who might be a little bit odded out, unless it's actually shown on the scoreboard. Okay, so it's Updog on the left. I thought it was Noodle on the left and Updog on the right. I am absolutely clueless right now. But what's not clueless is what's happening bottom lane. We've got Skarner coming in and coming in for a gank. We've got Aurelia right outside the Dragon Pit. They might be going for a Dragon play at the moment.
Yeah, it's an Inferno Dragon, so they are hungry for this Dragon, and they really want to secure this one to hopefully scale up into the later game.
An Infernal Dragon is always helpful to have. I mean, the increase in ability power or attack damage, and attack damage, depending if you have both stats. Most of the time, it's usually just one. It's really nice to have that passive boost, so that we've got, you know, a little bit extra damage to provide for your team.
Yeah, definitely. Damage is always good. Always nice to have that extra 8% in your back pocket. So we'll see what happens in the near future. I know Alistair and Ajana will probably try and wrestle for control in this bottom area with wards. And,
it's interesting that they're really fighting for control at the moment, and Orianna is really going into Peter's face. Just Kayle is being forced so defensively, being forced under turret. Orianna's really trying to push. She's closing it in, you know, her CS gap between her counter, which is looking really nice at the moment.
Yeah.
Garen versus Aurelia, though, that is a tough fight between the two. It's almost neck and neck.
It is, and yeah. Both
Garen gets forced behind, and then he just sort of pushes himself through, and then Aurelia has to pretty much move around the map to try and counter for it. Well, Garen comes in straight on Aurelia, gets a Q off, comes with a spin to win. Trundle gets ultied, another ulti response, and Trundle goes down. And this is another. Then just Kai'Sa comes in from the side, gets in an ulti. We've got Skarner coming in. Janna ultis, scattering her about. Skarner is so close to dying. Kayle comes in with a teleport, and they're continuing right onto Alistair. They're poking him down. They slow him off. They get him down, but not without him knocking Janna backwards. So even though he died, he saved Kai'Sa, and he managed to knock Janna back a few steps. But I guess that really didn't make too much difference, considering how proactive they were just there. Just the response from Kayle. Just, how unfortunate it was for Trundle to go down. And it looks like that might be an uncontested Infernal Dragon. It really depends on how they're looking at it at the moment. I mean, it could go either way.
Yeah, they will give up mid tower, but Infernal Dragon, I think, is a really good objective that you just can't give up. So that is the one disadvantage, sending up your Orianna to match the Kayle. She does not have the TP, so she can't join the fight, whereas Kayle has the TP, can turn that fight into a 4v5, 4v3 at this later stages, and easily clean up the fight. And Orianna, all she had to do was just run mid, and was super late.
A very good summary, but even though she was very late to try and help out her team, she did help Garen claim first turret. So they managed to get that first turret bonus right there, and I believe that's 400. No, wait, that is a bounty claim. My bad. I think is it 400 or 300 gold for claiming first turret. I'm confused as to which one it might be.
I really can't remember.
Okay, then we'll leave that to the mysteries. We'll leave that to the mysteries of the void. But I like how much Orianna is trying to compensate for her lack of mobility. She's really claiming minions. She's really trying to hold her lane. I think in a 1v1 situation at this stage is working well in her favor. Oh, what's this? We've got Alistair getting caught out here. Just a continued fire. Just look at him go. He's knocking him up. He tries to run. He is one tanky cow, but he goes down, unfortunately. Aurelia's really getting fed, and then followed up by Kai'Sa. What was Kai'Sa thinking? Top lane, Orianna versus Kayle. Orianna is having an advantage point at the moment. Another ulti response from Kayle. Kayle does manage to get herself out of a sticky situation, but now we have a 4-man bottom lane situation, and they're going to claim their first turret in the bottom lane so far. This is just, this is just proactive central. Just, if a team fight happens, the losing team really misses out on something, and the winning team capitalizes on it by trying to get an actual objective. I mean, they managed to clean up a team fight. So, looking at Noodles, they clean up a team fight. They take a dragon, they lose mid turret. But then they also claim another double kill, or should I say 2 more kills. They claim bottom turret tier 1, and they just claim tier 2, and now they're going in on Garen. Garen's spinning to winning, trying to survive, does take a lot of damage, but goes down, and Ethereal comes in with a kill steal right there. Looks like both supports are really looking to claim some kills this game.
Yeah, and Updog is just constantly getting caught out here. Kai'Sa wanting to help out the Alistair, but instead gets in range of the ultimate from the Skarner and gets a double kill, and there goes bot tower. Also Garen having to use his flash, but still dies as well. So that's another target that Skarner can grab in the next team fight. And looking dire situation for Updog in the next team fight coming.
And with Garen's flash down, he's going to have to be a little bit more careful because he won't be able to get over a sticky situation as easily as he would if he had it up. But I really like how responsive Noodles are being right now. Like game number 1, they are really holding their own. They are really doing well. They may have lost first turret. They did claim the first dragon, but they also responded in claiming like an entire bottom lane's line of turrets. They only have the inhibitor turret left, so I think they need to be a little bit more careful, because if Updog decides to try and do something here, if Noodle tried to do something here, they could push bottom lane all the way to an inhibitor. And, you know, it looks like as well that Updog are being forced to herd around the place. They are being controlled on the map. Skarner comes in, Predator followed by Righteous Glory, comes in with an ulti, and Jinx just cleans up with an ulti response. Such a clean hit, and they managed to claim a turret on top of.
Really nice coordination from the Skarner and then Jinx. Jinx laying down traps, and Skarner just positioning the Orianna onto the traps so that she can't flash out, and an instant death for the Orianna, and another tower for Noodles. Whereas we see a bot dive.
Alistair comes right on top of Kayle. Kayle pops ulti. She has Ignite on top of her, but negates all damage. Kai'Sa comes in and just completely annihilates her. They also claim a turret in response to that as well. So now it's a 2-4 situation in turret claiming. And it looks like they just managed to claim a tier 2 top turret uncontested. Look at Noodles go. They're absolutely pushing to the end. I feel like if they keep going at this rate, they'll be able to claim Nexus very quickly. Like, I feel like it could be a 35-minute game at this rate if they keep going the way they are.
Yeah, I really like how Noodles is able to get a punish and then immediately turn that into objective. You know, the last 3 team fights have resulted in a tower or a second tower as well. So really proactive play from this team, and they're really playing around the strengths of their really strong siege with the Jinx and the Kayle.
I will definitely agree with that. They have got strong siege. But what I do want to look at, if we press X and look at the gold accumulation, we've got Jinx a little bit behind Kai'Sa, but she's doing well to compensate by taking turrets down. We've got Aurelia completely demolishing Garen with a 2,000 gold lead, a 1.2 lead for Skarner, and that's very interesting because that 1.2k can really make a difference in junglers, because it essentially, like, you know, if we look at it and item wise, that is like a BF sword on top of something, or that could be a major item. I mean, it depends on really the champion, but 1.2k can really go a long way, and it can feel a lot larger than what it actually is. And we've got Kayle versus Orianna, 7.6 to 8.5. That is a small lead, but also just kill accumulation. I mean, looking at mid lane, we've got a big fight happening here. We did miss out a little bit. Janna gets an ulti out. Kai'Sa keeps a couple attacks on. He does get caught out. Kai'Sa flashes over the wall. Well, we've got Garen comes in with an ulti right on top. Orianna tries to claim on top. Does get knocked back by Alistair. Takes down Alistair though. Garen goes down in the fight just to continue the rampage. And that was a very good cleanup. Just such a proactive response to turn reactive.
Oh my god, 1v3 for Noodle.
Orianna gets in, but she does act defensively. She gets Ignite on top of Orianna, but unfortunately goes down to her. And even though Orianna managed to herd them out like that, Noodles claimed another Infernal Dragon. So that is 2 Infernal Dragons to 1 Ocean. And I feel like Noodles really have it going for them at the moment. They have I think that's a 5,000 gold lead for them at this point. Yes. And it's only going to get bigger because they've already got 5 turrets compared to 2. They've got 2 dragons, Infernal Dragons that I might specify. And they might be looking towards Baron at the moment. They're trying to box out Trundle, keep him from going anywhere. Well, Kayle he does get away. Very interesting. He does get out of there. I thought he was going to die. Like, they had him pretty well boxed in. There was just no one in top lane to actually block him out.
Yeah, I really like how Noodles is playing around the Aurelia, who is the strongest member on their team. You know, that team fight looked pretty good for Updog. You know, Alistair landed a really huge 3-man knockup, and was able to secure a kill early in the team fight. But then, as soon as Aurelia comes in, bam, double kill instantly. And all Noodles has to do right now to secure this game is to just play around Aurelia, get this Baron, and finish off the game.
A really good summary. Thank you very much for, shedding some light on that, because I sort of I was looking at the fight, but my brain wasn't just registering it. It's like looking at a painting and you can't really just seem to understand, you know, what the meaning behind it, like all the terms and stuff like that. And yet that fight, you summarized it pretty well. So well done right there. And
There's a lot going on.
there is definitely a lot going on. I mean, look at this. Just Toronto's trying to go after Aurelia. Aurelia is really forcing things backwards. And it could be, it looks like we're having a tango going on at the moment. 4v4.
I like a little snapshot of the inventories on Noodles. Every person on their team has a red ward. That is so cool to see. I like the emphasis on maintaining this vision control and snowballing this vision out of control so that they can maybe set up for a ban play really soon.
I feel like shedding a tear. I haven't seen this in a very long time, but it's really nice to see. You know, Noodles have their heads screwed on for this one, and they're really trying to bring on their A game. I mean, this series tonight, if they win game number 1, they're going to have a bit more comfortable time and a little less stress worrying about game number 2, because it'll get them one step closer to the grand finals of this entire tournament. And I, for one, would love to have a much more comfortable time if I was playing, you know, in Team Noodles at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. The game 1 mentality, you know, being able to sit back and relax in a game 2 situation really is a feels good moment. For Noodles going ahead for this game, they have a really strong 1-3-1 composition. Aurelia and Kale as the split pushers are really strong. There's no way Oriana can defend Aurelia, and there's no way Garen can defeat a Kale. So it really has to be up to Updog to find these really huge engages with the Oriana ultimate and the Alistar here to get back into the game.
It's interesting that you pointed out that it's going to be hard to take on Kale, because Kale's ulti essentially negates all damage, you know, that she'll take for the next, I think it's like 2 seconds while ulti is active. Yeah. And it can either be used on herself or whoever the primary target is, you know, whoever the primary target is for Noodles, because even if there's a lot of good team synergy, they do lack a little bit in trying to actually lock down and just sort of chip away at Team Noodles. Like, Updog are doing well to try and, you know, get themselves in a good fight. They do well to get themselves proactively in a situation, but just like this right now, we've got Noodles coming in response. Skarner gets Righteous Glory. Predator active. Alistair is caught out. He's stuck in a grenade, and he's forced out of such a fight. His ulti is now down, so he's really gonna have to try and compensate somehow.
Yeah, even though it didn't look
down.
Yeah, even though that didn't look like much, Trundle had to use his ulti, Alistair uses his Unbreakable Will, and Kale is constantly pushing that bot lane. So, just games of inches at this rate, and Noodles is just constantly pulling away his advantages.
Oh, look at that dodge from Kai'Sa right there. Just Kai'Sa manages to dodge Aurelia's ulti, jumps to the side, and just keeps chipping away till she finally claims a kill. Trundle, on the other hand, goes right into their face and goes down pretty easily.
Oh man, it's just a tale for Updog this game. Whenever something happens, we have a fight here.
Yeah, we got another fight. Just look at that. Kai'Sa jumps in the opposite direction, goes behind them, is continuing to chip away over at Jinx. Skarner is really going right on top of Kai'Sa, does knock him down, goes down, gets taken down in the process. Jinx is really going right on top. Alistair goes down, Garen goes down. That is 4 players down. A Featherstorm coming out. There we go, we've got Jinx ulti, a double flash response, another response as well from Oriana. We're seeing flashes everywhere at the moment. Just, my golly, this is just absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, this is insane right now, and Updog is desperately trying to get back into this game with these engages, but Kai'Sa, man, if he lived there, he could have kept on fighting in the end, but he goes down to the last auto attack from Skarner, goes down, and a 3-4-1 at the end for Team Noodles, so another advantage for them.
This is a team fight like that right there. Really goes to show how much the game is tipped in, you know, which team's favor. And from what we saw, we can see some good pro action happening from Updog, but Noodle's response capability, Noodle's ability to respond, change the situation around, as well as almost completely ace all of Updog. I think Noodles have a real good chance right now. Like, they do well in team fights. They've got all the right stuff going for them. They have got a majority of objectives taken down. And now it's only a matter of time before they decide to go for Baron and clean up. Like, what is your opinion on this so far? Like, the winning conditions, what do you think Updog would need to do in order to be able to change the situation around?
Well, Updog has a really strong, just a really strong catching comp. You know, they have Alistair, they have the Trundle. They can easily burn down a tank in a team fight. So with the Kaiser as well. So they're really strong at shredding tanks. But Garen has to be careful here not to get. Oh my goodness.
That was
okay.
I don't think we even needed to really. I don't think we really needed to go anything.
Well, Orianna building full pen is a lot of damage. That's all you gotta say. So that's a really good way to come back. Beat that 1v2, 1v1 by just sending another person and catching them out. Is gonna get away here. Oh, he got into the fight though.
She's going for a 5v1, but that was only because she wanted to herd them away. Look at where the rest of Noodles are. They are over at Baron. Now all of Updog have caught on that they have just been herded away. They are charging for Baron. It looks like they won't be able to make it. We get Janna coming in with a tornado and an ulti to knock them away for a little bit longer.
It's close.
And Skarner claims it in with a spike. Now he's caught out in the middle of he's caught out in the rest of Updog. He goes down, but he manages to defend at least 2 members from their team to continue keeping Baron up so they can try and make objective plays.
Yeah, that was so close from the Trundle. Nearly gets there in time, but unfortunately Skarner is there to smite it away. But Noodles gets to 2-man Baron, so still that's alright. Unfortunately they couldn't get it onto their split pushes to make that split pushing threat even stronger. But at least Updog is able to get this Ocean Dragon, a consolation prize. Not the greatest in the late game, but still something.
Yeah, it gives them it gives them that little bit of extra gold, maybe 1.5 minions worth of gold. I just saw 25 come on top of Trundle just then. But well, I guess anything counts. Every little bit counts. It is a game of inches, as you said earlier.
Yeah, definitely. And it sucks. With this Baron buff, they should be able to 5-man siege a little bit effectively now. We'll see if they opt into the sieging or continue with their 1-3-1. They still need to be careful of what Orianna did the last time that KO tried to split push. She just got caught out and got one shot by the Orianna. But they have to be really diligent still with the vision control and the setups for this 1v1.
Well, the vision score, actually, it's interesting you pointed out. I look at the vision score between every single person on each team, and Janna, I have to give a very special mention to, 76 at 33 minutes. Now that's an interesting vision score level. She's been really effective with putting down her wards. She's putting them in the right places. She's not just putting down, she's putting them down in the right places. And another special shout out to Jinx. She's over 10 CS per minute, which is really nice to see. And at this point, I think it's only going to stay at that point and steadily increase, just maybe by a little bit. Having almost 100% crit chance, as well as Ruin's Hurricane, and Storm Razor. Things are looking very powerful for her to start with. Yeah, definitely. One auto attack with those rockets will just one-shot the Kai'Sa at this point of the game, so she's going to constantly rack up these CS numbers. We talk about Kai'Sa's late game, but Jinx is equally as strong, maybe a little bit less weaker, but still as strong as Kai'Sa in the late game with those extreme range numbers, as well as the critting damage. So in a team fight situation, Jinx can also definitely hold her on. And with Baron buff active for their team, they're pushing top lane quite effectively, and they're forcing all of Updog to actually attend top lane, and they can't really do much about it because they're very limited in their capabilities. Not only are they pushing very hard, Baron buff also minimizes magic and physical damage that minions can take. So it's like they become super minions almost just from having Baron buff active on them. Yep, definitely, and they're just waiting for the KO to reach that bottom tower to make a play. As soon as that hits that bottom tower, we'll see if they maybe perform a dive with the Skarner ulti. Oh my goodness, that damage! Oh, Alistair comes in with a knock-up. Skarner is really forced in the middle of a fight. He flushes out, he's claiming a bit of healing. He does go down to Trundle's ulti eventually. Irelia goes straight in. Kayle is backdooring. They do well, they're responding once again. The tides have turned. A triple kill from Jinx. That freaking mega death rocket. It was really showing off. And now they're going to try and claim as much as they can. Just Jinx is, making a few extra pushes, getting those inches in. They've got the first inhibitor down. Now they're going straight for the end. I think this is going to be game number 1 for Noodles. Yeah, definitely. I think this is looking GG as well. But the last Nexus tower going down. We'll see if the Nexus gets taken down. I think this is game number 1 in favor of Noodles. Well done. A very special mention to 2 players, specifically Jinx very good CS and very good turnaround, and Jana for not dying at all that game.
Yeah, definitely. Jana, absolutely well done. Really strong vision control, 2-0-12 flawless gameplay, which means she's positioning herself really safely, always there to back up the Jinx and Aurelia, who was popping off in the early game.
And with that, everybody, we will go to a quick little music break while we get ourselves set up for game number 2 between these two magnificently performing teams. Hello everybody and welcome back to today's series. We are going into game number 2. Game number 1, as a slight recap. Noodle, I think it's Noodle
Yes,
Land
Noodles.
did really well. Yeah, thanks for that. Noodle did really well to take game number 1 with an outstanding victory and such a huge gap between both teams. My name is Reinhardt and I am joined once again by Shinzo. Shinzo, I hand you over to start us off here. Like, what have we got going on?
Yeah, Blitzcrank ban? Maybe it's a pocket pick from Blitz 2410, but maybe some hidden intel in the OPGGs. But no surprises in the Aurelia ban, who really stormed off in the last game for Noodles. You know, picked up a really quick 4-1-1 KDA in the very early stages of the game and was able to snowball the game ridiculously quickly.
Yeah, Thermal did a real outstanding job playing Aurelia, just being able to go bottom lane, go top lane, help Peter take top lane quite easily, as well as just essentially be an all-around playmaker. Like, you know, when they claimed Baron in game number 1, Aurelia managed to herd all of Updog into the bottom half of the map, so that way they had to actually run all the way up to the Baron bit just in order to try and contest Baron. But by that point they already took Baron down to like 25%. That when Updog already came within vision distance of Noodles, they already claimed Baron, and to top it off they also managed to claim almost an entire ace, and with that they claimed the game from it as well. So it's amazing, it's really interesting how much one simple Baron run and just like, one person being the sacrificial goat, it can really affect the game. And I'm just astonished. Like, I'm really curious to see how game number 2 is going to go. And it looks like we've got Kai'Sa picked once again for Zasav.
Yeah, Zasav, honestly, just recognizing that Kai'Sa is still the number 1 priority AD carry in the game right now. So, no hesitation, picks it up again. Noodles with Desmang, liking the Skarner from last game, pick it up again. Obviously, great pick potential, which was really effective in last game. Constantly making these picks in the laning phase and in the team fights, giving them the advantage really quickly on. And again, a Trundle as well, so both teams sticking to the game plan, it seems.
Yes, and it looks like we're almost having a complete, re-pick. We're having comfortable picks picked up again between both teams. We've got Desbang picking up Skarner. We've got Kai'Sa and Trundle picked up once more.
Ooh.
But we've got a difference in bottom lane now. We've got, instead of Jinx and Janna, we've got Lulu and Kog'Maw. This is really going to turn the tides. This is really separating game number 1 between game number 2 now.
Yeah, definitely. Kog'Maw and Lulu, a little bit of a similar concept to Jinx and Janna. Obviously, both supports have a shielding aspect, and both AD carries have a turn-on huge range sort of toggle effect. But this time, I think Kog'Maw has been back when we going back to MSI. Kog'Maw that number 1 counter pick towards the Kai'Sa back then. So I think they're flexing that pick and hoping to see how strong it is against the Kai'Sa of the current meta.
And we've got our first 3 champions all locked in away. We've got both bottom lane champions, both bottom lane picks, also jungle picks. Now we're coming into the second row of bans. Sion followed by Xerath. Interesting to see them both being banned out like this. I have not really seen them played too often. Sion, yes, a little bit. I've had a bit of history watching Sion be played in a series that happened over the weekend from that was hosted at Adelaide University. It's really interesting how much Sion can really turn the tides of a game, or should I say a team fight, when he manages to land a fully highlighted Q and as well his ulti.
Yeah, definitely. Sion is one of those really beefy tanks that is impossible to kill, but grants a team so much utility and rotational advantage as well with that ultimate. So, a really powerful pick in the current meta. We'll see what Zasav picks for his either mid lane or the top lane. And we'll see. Here we go. Maokai. So, a bit of tankiness, a bit of engaging, a bit of tankiness. I think there was something that they lacked in the last game, that engage potential to allow the Kai'Sa to pop off in these team fights. So I think a good adjustment in this game.
Well, they did have champions that do well with engaging. They had Trundle as well as Alistair. What they sort of lacked was that, in comparison, Skarner had Righteous Glory as well as Predator. And that really that turns the tides right then and there. That's what put Noodles ahead in the first place. And then you've also got extras like Aurelia popping her ultimate going in, just being able to reset her Q every single time she used it, and maximizing her passive, getting maximum stacks, and just completely balling right on top of them. And then Kayle with her ulti that makes whoever is affected immune to damage. And it's just amazing how well they coordinated themselves. But now for game number 2, we've got a different situation happening. We've got, I assume that might be Darius in top lane, and we've got Syndra picked for Thermal. Looks like Thermal's going for, more primary, exclusive, and like bursty based picks. Like Syndra has been known to be very good with burst, but that's only if champions can't really negate her ulti.
Yeah, I do like the Syndra here because they are lacking that just point and click one-shot kill combined with the Skarner ultimate. Darius obviously rising in popularity with the recent buffs in the 8.19 patch. Huge amounts of armor penetration with his W. So really strong against tanks in the current meta. And Fizz picked up in the last pick for clarity. Really good outplay potential against the Syndra as well. Can dodge out the ultimate from the Syndra, and a really strong, powerful pick in a 1v1 situation.
Yes, and with that, it looks like we have both teams all completely locked in, set away, so we know which champions are going to be top, which champions are going to meet mid this time.
No
Last time we had Noodles. Last time we had Noodles just bouncing around like between top and mid quite a lot. That it was just like, wait, is it Kale top? Is it Kale mid? Is it Kale top? Is it Kale mid? That it's just like it's sort of like your eyes keep jumping up and down. That you're gonna eventually get a headache from it. But I like how things are finally all set out and ready to go now. Like I'm liking the difference that we've got for this, for game number 2. We've got a couple comfortable picks. We've got Zasaf with Kaiser, Trundle for Step, Desmang with Skarner, and then everything else in between. Everything else is a completely new set. So it looks like we're going to have a very different game number 2, thankfully. I like it when, the games get a little bit different because it sort of creates a bit more variety in what we're expecting to see. If it was the same picks both way, then it's almost like, well, it's going to be a 2-0 because it worked well the first game. And since there's such good synergy happening between that team, it will most likely happen as second game. But I like how there's a different setup this time. We've got something different going.
Yeah, I like it as well. I think Noodles, even though they have really different picks in all 4 of their roles, it's a pretty similar concept. They retain their really strong team fighting. They have that hyper carry in the bottom lane with a really safe shielding support in the Lulu. They have that really strong assassination ability with the Syndra, and obviously a carry top laner with the Darius. Whereas this time, Updog, a little bit more focused with their mid lane pick right now. They're pumping out a little bit more damage from the mid lane and then sacrificing that damage in the Maokai top lane.
With that, that's a really nice that's a nice clear picture that you painted for us right there. And with that, we have a slight little spectator delay, so we'll leave you with some playing music while we get ourselves all set up and ready to go for game number 2 between Noodle Land and Updog. I believe both teams switch sides this time, so we've got Updog on the right hand side as the red team and Noodle Land on the left. So just like I had it looked at last time. Oh, I feel like I get dyslexia between, which team's on which side. But yeah, we'll be right back, everybody. So don't go away. We'll be right back soon. live with game number 2 between Noodle Land and Updog. Once again, or should I say a slight little refresher, I'm Reinhardt and I am joined by Shinzo. Shinzo, I think this is going to be an interesting game number 2. Like, I let you take us away with the start off at the moment.
Yeah, so as I said in the Champions, really different approach from Updog this time. Similar concept from Noodle, so they're playing their comfortable style of their really stable laning phase in scaling up into the team fights, whereas now Updog with that more assassination ability in the mid lane. So I expect him to play a little bit more around in the mid lane with this Fizz. When he hits level 6, you'd expect Maokai roaming out with the Rakan ulti as well, just trying to get that really quick pick onto the Syndra and open up the map that way.
Yeah, like, it's interesting how you say with Fizz hitting level 6 and Maokai being able to roam about a little bit better. I think at level 6, Fizz is going to take a lot of control, or almost complete control of the lane, because his ulti allows him to not only slow down an enemy champion if they are tagged, but it also enables him to actually complete his combo. Just pole vault with his staff, and then completely dashing right on top of them with his W active, and just essentially they've already lost half of their health, and then it all comes down to just finishing him off with either the ulti popping or whether he just continues to basic attack. I mean, it goes either way, but that's what really makes him a very effective assassin.
Yeah, definitely, and he's he's sort of one of those assassins that's weirdly low economy. As soon as he picks up a Sheen, he can one-shot you instantly. So he could have a rough laning phase against a ranged matchup against the Syndra, but as long as he picks up that early item, he should be fine for the rest of the game.
Oh, absolutely, and I'm really keen to see some good return players. Like, Updog need this in order to stay alive. Updog need this win in order to stay alive in tonight's series. Otherwise, Noodle might be able to take it again. Like, game number 1, Punish did really well playing as Jinx. He had a 10 CS per minute advantage. In overall, and he also really came in line once he got 2 items. And I feel like this could come close to happening again in game number 2. I am a little bit concerned for Thermal because he's playing Syndra, who has very little escape quality, based abilities, versing an assassin like Fizz. Like, Fizz can just gap close very easily.
Yeah, and definitely opting into the Ignite as well, so a bit of engage in the bot lane, lots of poke, both in the mid and the bot lane as well, so oh wow. So we saw Fizz, being destroyed under tower, but all of a sudden we've got one trade and Syndra's already half HP.
And it looks like we've got Skarner, who came down bottom lane. He just runs right in on their face. Doesn't do anything though. He hasn't got boots yet, so Predator is not really going to be helpful. It is essentially just non-existent until he gets boots. But it was interesting to see him get such a good gap close on him very quickly. And Syndra in mid lane, just Fizz jumps over the wall and then gets knocked back by Syndra's E. And we've got Darius being closed in on. He is boxed in. He is pretty much taking them both on 2v1. He's trying to run away for the Wither, but unfortunately goes down, and First Blood goes to Trundle. Now he's going to have that slight little advantage just to start the game off with.
That is huge, because Darius is picked to be that huge counter to the tanky top laner of the current meta, but going down that early kill, it's really big for this Maokai to be able to stay in through the laning phase now. I'm
interested in seeing how he's going to play about from now. Like, Darius was ahead in CS. Now he is a little bit ahead, but in terms of gold, he is a little bit behind, just by 100. But that gap can only just continue to increase. Trundle is making himself very active. He's not only made himself known in top lane, but he also came down bottom. Fizz goes down, he gets ignited, and just a kill for Thermal. Thermal is really coming to life again in game number 2. He's really showing us how effective he can play in the mid lane.
Yeah, and Clarity just switches off for 1 second, and Thermal takes advantage of that, getting that stun off and an easy ignite for that solo kill in the mid lane. So Fizz has to be super aware of that happening, really diligent about this lane phase. It's going to be tough, so you have to, just try and tough it out without dying.
Yes, and it looks like, even though Thermal has top lane, the rest of their team are sort of being punished for it. You've got, Oh, pardon my voice. You've got bottom lane being forced defensively behind their own turret. Turret has taken a little bit of damage. Darius fell behind because he got completely boxed in from Trundle invading. He doesn't pop flash, which is nice to see. So he'll be able to get himself out of a sticky situation if he gets into a round 2 essentially. But let's hope that it doesn't happen for him again, because fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me for staying out there too long.
Yeah, definitely. And I didn't expect the Kog'Maw to be pushed on tower by the Kai'Sa, because the last time we saw this matchup, Kog'Maw would have dominated the Kai'Sa, but it seems times have changed. Kai'Sa's a little bit stronger now. Kog'Maw, not as meta of a pick right now, so maybe some stylistic changes have happened over the past few months.
I'm curious to see how this is going to go. There's a lot of attention happening bottom lane. We've got a lot of aggression happening from Sasaf, as well as Rakan trying to continue to, get a couple of hits underneath there. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We've got Skarner coming in from behind. Predator is active and hot. He does get in. He gets knocked up. He stuns Rakan. Rakan dashes onto Kai'Sa. He flashes out of there. A heal also expended. A teleport response from Maokai. And now they're all forced to run. We've got Fizz. He missed his ulti.
Oh, no!
Syndra's running for it. Is she going to get out alive? She flashes away. Another flash response. But they both come in on top and claim an easy kill just before she hits a safe point underneath the turret. A very efficient play and reactive response from Thermal, but unfortunately goes down to a double flash from Fizz and Trundle.
Oh dear, that was unfortunate that he missed the fish, because then he wouldn't have to split a flash, but a kill's a kill, that's all good. He's gonna go back, be happy with that gold he picked up, and despite being solo killed in the mid lane, he's able to stabilize. And Trundle already has 2 kills and is nearly, is pretty much even in CS, so he's doing a really efficient job clearing the waves and making efficient ganks.
It definitely is. Like, he was a little bit behind. He is losing in CS, but he's making up for it with trying to help out with Trundle where he can. I mean, he came down and just completely traced Syndra all the way to the point that they ran through the jungle and then almost managed to let her get away underneath the tier 2 turret. But now Kog'Maw narrowly missed.
A little bit more dangerous because self-infinity edge built up by
Man,
Giovanni.
he's really stuck on the turret. He ulties away and followed with another ulti. Really beginning to, come online. They might be playing around Syndra at this early stage.
Yeah, they sort of have to. They realize that Syndra doesn't have any summon to escape from the Fizz, so I'm expecting Skarner to hang around this mid lane to make sure this Syndra feels safe enough to walk up and catch any rotations. And Maokai trying to ward the river, but unfortunately his jungle is his bot side, so there's no pressure coming, no help. He's a free pickup for the blue team of Noodles.
Yeah, so far Noodles, they're doing well to try and keep aggression going. Skarner's claimed Trundle's red. Trundle claimed Ocean Dragon. Once again, first Dragon goes down. Looks like Updog a real time claiming only Ocean Dragons. This is probably the third. This is the third Ocean Dragon they've claimed, and it's in game number 2. In the first game, they claimed 2 Ocean Dragons, but that was the maximum they could actually, try and get their hands on. And now we've got Skarner coming in again. He's made himself known bottom at least probably 3 times. He comes top once. He catches Maokai out and boxes him in the top river. And he's also now just made himself known mid lane. And a lot of these times, he's used Predator. So he's really making use of himself with Predator at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. I think at the moment it's been a tale of the 2 jungles. Who can make the more aggressive play, who can make the smarter play. Trundle's had a really successful time so far, but it looks like Skarner is really trying to get back into terms and make his team a little bit more successful in his playing phase.
He's creeping up in CS. He's staying hot and above it a little bit. He's only got 1 assist though, which is keeping him behind Trundle. The gold accumulation between both players is roughly only 200. But when you compare it to something like, let's say for instance, Fizz and Syndra, there is almost a 1,000 gold difference between the 2, and it's not even 10 minutes yet.
Yeah, that's all in CS at the moment, and I expected this, I think, because Syndra does have that really strong laning phase opposed to that Fizz. However, as I said, as soon as Fizz can pick up the Sheen, I don't think all that CS any matters, because as soon as he lands the fish, I think Syndra's just going to die. So it's really
I feel like
up
the
to
same
that.
thing.
Yeah, it's really up to that. When can Fizz hit that fish and he misses? That's unfortunate.
Oh, he does narrowly miss that fish, but he goes right on top of Syndra.
Oh, that
He's right in
hurts.
and out of nowhere. He does pop ult. He pops Ignite. He gets caught out. A flash from Skana. Skana ultis right underneath turret and claims another very easy kill. Trundle goes in and he is caught out. Oh, he does get out of the dough. I mean, Frozen Domain does allow him to get that extra movement speed to, to increase the gap between Skana and himself. Still, a very, very strong play from Skana. Like, I did not expect him to flash in. Like, Predator would have been more than enough for him to catch Fizz out, but I guess having that flash up and using it on him just enabled him to just lock in his ulti, and it sort of decreased the gap between travel time, between catching Fizz and luring him under turret. And Syndra getting in with that stopwatch and just denying Fizz the ability to try and claim an easy kill. I mean, just round of applause for Syndra right there, just being able to react so defensively.
Definitely, and it's all about reaction time. I think Skana realizing that Fizz doesn't have any flashes, the only way that he can escape is that, I forgot what it's called, but the E, the Trickster, I think.
I just call it a pole vault.
The pole vault? Yeah, I'll say that as well, the pole vault. And, and he knew that Fizz's pole vault was down, so flash in, get that kill, make sure that Fizz is locked down before that flash comes up as well.
A slight little defensive return here. I mean, both teams are resetting quite well. There's a lot of warding happening. Like, what's your opinion on this so far?
Oh, I think the game has been going quite well. Actually, I have forgotten totally about the top lane. Darius has a 50 CS gold lead, so this could get rough. He could back right now, get a Black Cleaver, and really bully this Maokai.
He could. The only unfortunate thing is Maokai doesn't really have any armor to begin with, so I feel like the only major benefit of having Black Cleaver is really for the cooldown and the health that it really provides, as well as the movement speed increase. Rakan comes in with a dash up, dashes out on top of Kaiser. Skana comes in with Predator, tries to get something out there.
Double TP. One gets cancelled?
Both get cancelled actually. Now we've got Fizz coming down bottom lane to try and help turn the tides. But unfortunately is left alone as Skana retreats and just continues farming his own jungle.
Yeah, a bit of aggression from both teams there, I think.
We've got another fight response happening top. Darius does get caught out by both Trundle and Maokai. The nether grass right there, or nature's grass, does catch him out, but Syndra comes in and it's interesting that there is wards there, because I feel like if there was an award in Tribush, from Trundle or Maokai, they would have possibly lost their lives. So, wards save lives, and in this case, it definitely did. It saved at least both of their lives. Yeah,
definitely did. And great instincts from the Syndra, realizing that, Trundle isn't on the bot side, and Darius is pushed up all the way to Maokai's tower. Could be a very easy gank. So he roams up, makes sure Darius is safe and sound, and continues his rampage. He's up 60 CS now. So
we've got pings happening bottom lane. Fizz is looking to make a play. Ulti is up, live and hot. I'm curious as to see what he's going to do. He's going behind turret. Now they're going to be claiming turret. Just the fact that both Noodle and that came bottom lane, it was interesting. They just backed off. Trundle gets caught out underneath. Skana claims another easy kill underneath turret. First turret goes down. Fizz claims it. Darius now hooks in Maokai. Maokai is really going on top of him. Darius continues the fight. He gets 5 stacks on. He's going to continue trying to do something. Mid lane has now lost their turret, so now it is a 1-for-1 trade. Darius is doing a lot. He is really aggressive on the pinch line at the moment. And I'm a little bit lost for words. There was a lot of plays happening there, but they weren't necessarily into each other. They were more or less side plays. Yeah. You get bottom lane action from just by Fizz coming in, tries to run behind turret and claiming 2 easy kills, but instead they claim a turret instead. And then a similar thing happens, but Trundle gets caught out underneath his own turret in mid lane. So he dies to Skana, and then they also take turret underneath. Whereas we've also got Darius top lane versus Maokai. He almost manages to kill him. He does get 5 stacks on. He pops his ulti, but does not claim an easy kill. And now, just from all of that, both teams have reset. But Skana is now claiming Herald. So I'm curious to see what he's going to do with that Herald buff.
Yeah, I think with that, it's really key that Noodle's able to break down that mid tower, allow the Singed to make even more roaming plays around the map, which is he has already done so far. He's up 2-on-2, he's got a sizable CS lead, so even though Fizz is that really dangerous threat, he's still able to contribute a lot of damage. So I would see that Rift Herald maybe going to the bot or the top tower very soon, or maybe even push it down mid and get the second tier tower. And even more unfortunately for Updog, it's another Ocean Dragon. So as soon as Trundle gets so much dragon control, he gets rewarded by the weakest dragon in the late game.
I wish I had a nice ocean-y based pun for this, because that is the 4th Ocean Dragon they've claimed, now that Ocean Dragon is gone, I believe we are going to see a Mountain Drake as the difference.
Okay, well, finally a good dragon, but hopefully this game doesn't slip out of Updog's hands as the dragon spawns.
Well, so far we've got Noodles claiming at least a 2,000 gold lead, and it's only going to get bigger. We've got a lane switch from both top and bottom lane. Both teams have decided to swap lanes. Both mid laners stay the same. It's interesting to see that now we've got a similar action happening top. So I feel like, they're going to claim top turret pretty easily. They know there's vision up there. Noodles are going to try and do something to counter it. Skarner's looking for a little bit of help. Fizz might be looking to try and make a proactive play. We've got Rakan and Trundle just above mid lane. Ooh. Oh, she does get caught out. A double action play knocks back Trundle. Skarner flashes over the wall, is claiming Trundle. Fish misses everything. Oh, Rakan flashes out after being caught from Skarner, and now they're both retreating. I feel like that was a very good trade in favor of Noodles, and now they're looking to try and either claim another one or just completely run away from the situation.
Yeah, even though Trundle or Rakan catches out the Syndra, those two do not have enough damage to kill a Syndra at the stage, and they needed the Fizz to be there to be ready to act upon if Syndra gets caught, and he wasn't there in time. And unfortunately, he misses another fish. So I think he's thrown at 3 fishes, has missed all of them. So that's a lot of kill pressure that he's missing out on in the early stages of this game.
Yeah, and I have to specifically point out, like, when you said that that's like, the second time he's missed his fish, that was a crucial point as well, that he missed his fish, because Syndra managed to get away from that. Darius is going to fight under turret. He backs off a little bit when he realizes how deep he's running, but he does well. He's doing well to get those 5 stacks off and completely get that damage boost. Oh, it looks like we've got it looks like it was a fight over Control Ward and River. Lulu manages to claim it in the end, but another ward gets put in its place. We have a lot of red wards coming around here. We've got at least 3 control wards. 3 red control wards from Updog. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 vision wards happening from Updog. There is so much red warding happening at the moment.
It is so great to see. Both teams are prioritizing so much vision in the series. I think from game 1, as we noticed Noodles had, everyone had like 3 wards each. This time it's Updog with this philosophy of let's get wards down and let's control the map. So it's really cool to see that they're playing not only just with the laning mechanics, but it's also the macro game.
Here. And it looks like we've got a situation coming into bottom lane. We've got a 3v4 slowly beginning to... Fizz knows where Syndra is. She's looking to catch her out. She's already caught wind of the fact that they're going to try and come after her. Now we've got bottom lane coming to mid. This might be a good defensive response like we saw last game.
And Rift Herald being summoned in the bot lane. Oh,
a flash from Maokai. Skarner almost manages to dodge it completely. Predator's still active. He's continuing the fight. Oh, Maokai does manage to push away. Fizz is coming to respond here. He's looking to throw his fish out somewhere. He might be going fishing. Oh, they're trying to defend against Herald. Oh, Fizz, what are you doing? You pole vaulted right into him. You get caught out. And another ulti combination response from Thermal. Fizz goes down. They're going to be able to claim another turret. Meanwhile, over in top lane, we've got Kai'Sa claiming her for another turret. But it looks like that might be a bit of a sacrificial turret. They might go for a tier turret number 2 again.
If the Rift Herald gets another charge.
This is like game 1 all over again now. We've got different champions being picked, but a similar gameplay situation. And there goes Maokai. Right underneath tier turret. I feel like he's being a little bit too gutsy right there, all guts and no glory.
way too gutsy there. You don't have your damage dealers there. Fizz is dead. Kaiser's just returning back from base, and you're trying to defend against 5-man strong team that is all full HP with the Rift Hell tanking the tower. That's impossible to defend. Yeah, just got to back off and just give up the tower. And that's just another team fight that Fizz is unable to use his fish. He's being shut down this whole game. He's just unable to get going. And even though he does
get the fish on. He
finally gets on.
He gets it, but Coldball flashes over the wall. He takes a hit, but he gets away clean and easy. And, look at the little Coldball. That's a cute skin. You just feel sorry for. You just feel like you've done something bad when you put the dog down.
Definitely. But for Fizz's sake, hopefully he can put down the dog in the next team fight. No flash. His ulti is already halfway up, so that cooldown reduction is really working out for him. Hopefully he can find the fish really soon in next team fight. And
it really is. So far he's got 30% cooldown reduction. Might be looking to 40% soon. He's still got Dark Seal, which is really questionable. He hasn't claimed a single kill so far. He's died a little bit too often, if anything the most in the game. That really makes you think, is it really worth keeping Dark Seal? Like, at this stage you'd want to just get rid of it and get like, a different item, or better yet, upgrade. Just like upgrade your amplifying tone to something a little bit more viable and effective for your team, because that is just extra mana and ability power that you've got. This goes down!
Komo's not happy about that fish, and solo kills him with the ultimate. Goodbye, and Fizz is yet again shut down. He had his ultimate as well, so he couldn't even use it. Oh, that's just unfortunate.
He expended his flash in that moment too, so it was a real worth kill for Punish. He really punished Fizz by just forcing him to flash and then just ultis to finish him off. Darius in top lane here, he's really caught out once again. Another 2v1, but is he going to actually act a little bit better? He's got Trinity Force. He's wailing on both of them, but goes down pretty easily. I think Trundle's ulti right there, just claiming a bit of armor and magic resistance, and both of them just whacking him over the head. Maybe a little bit too much for him. He has got a lot of CS to compensate for it though. Like, he is hurting him down quite well, and it's really interesting to see that. Now we've got Rakan caught mid-air. Kaiser ultis. It does get ulted by Syndra as well as ignited. She's forced to run away. It's a 3v1 mid lane at the moment. Fizz is jumping around the place. Does go on top of Syndra. Syndra pops Sonya's hourglass. Rakan goes under turret once again, and no kills were claimed in that moment.
Oh my god, I just gotta give huge props to Desmang. He was able to ulti the Rakan out of his ultimate and save his Syndra from being charmed. That was such a cool play, and we have a TP from Darius coming to 1v3.
Oh, Syndra manages to claim a 3-man stun. A double kill from Darius, claims a triple kill right there.
Oh,
jeez, such powerful action. Just look at that.
Goodness.
Such a turnaround. He does die to Tilva, but then he just claims a revenge just by teleporting right behind them and just wails on top of them.
That is such a big turnaround, and you'd think Updog
it looks like that might be an inhibitor claim right there. It looks like this would be a very quick game number 2.
Yeah, this is looking really rough for Updog.
They're really going to earn their noodles. They're really going to earn their noodles tonight, mate.
Yeah, exactly. Oh boy.
Fizz is looking to come about. Not really sure the motive behind that. I'm not really sure the motive, the method behind his madness of trying to charge in. It's really interesting that he still has a lot of guts, but why the Dark Seal? Why do you still have that at this point in the game?
I'm not sure, but I guess if you can't sell it for something else better, then might as well keep it. But even then, you could probably sell it for a pink ward slot, maybe. I don't know. But,
well, that's what I'm thinking. Like, it'd be good to get rid of it because you get gold from it, as well as an open slot, or better yet, you just get an open slot and you can replace it with something a little bit more, team efficient. Yeah. And I like that you provided the example of providing more pink wards, because they do have a lot of pink wards, but it's always nice to update your wards. I mean, if you know they're in the bottom lane, or if you know they're not in the bottom half of the map, just because of where your wards are placed, then it's good to update because you want to know where they are. 100%, not 50%, not 70%, 100%, because that's the only way you're going to be able to make efficient gameplays.
Yeah, definitely. And Updog is one of those teams that really benefits with really good vision control. They have a really strong pick potential with the Kai'Sa, with the Fizz, with the Trundle, decreasing the armor resistance as well. So they have to really control this, vision control to allow this Fizz, who's been shut down this whole game, trying to get him online at some point at this game.
And now things are just going to look even more. Things are going to look even more grim as they're going to claim the tier 1 top turret. 4 out of 5 members, and now it looks like a 4v4 situation happening, or should I say, a 4-1 split situation on both sides. But I feel like it's really going to be effective for Team Noodle Land, only because they are doing really efficient to be proactive. Berkai comes in, gets on top. Rakan follows up. Fizz finally lands a fish. Gets a bait or whatever you want to say, and Kog'Maw comes in and claims 2 easy kills with his ulti, and now they're continuing to push to claim tier turret number 2. Meanwhile, we've got bottom lane action, Darius versus Trundle. Darius is really pushing in. He might try and look to claim, the second inhibitor turret.
It's just so hard. If Fizz can't land that fish onto Kog'Maw is just so free to.
He's claiming the inhibitor turret right underneath it. Maokai goes on top of him, but Maokai's now too far in. He goes down pretty easily. And now they're continuing the fight. But just look at him go. He flushes over. Ulti right on top. Kai'Sa, what were you thinking? Rakan goes right on top again. What is he thinking? That is a triple kill for Kog'Maw right there. This is just absolute chaos. Now Fizz is looking to chase.
Oh my goodness.
He flashes over. He's going to keep going. He's chasing. He gets a fish on top, but not without going down. He claims the doggy in the end. Meanwhile, Darius in bottom lane claiming the second inhibitor turret. He tries to start chasing Trundle, and now they've claimed all 3 inhibitors. I feel like this is going to be a very quick end now.
Yeah, well, I guess you go Fizz, just all chat #worth, because you got a kill on the 7-0 Kog'Maw, but I think that's game over already.
That is game right there. I want to see in the chat right now, #Noodles win. Look at that game right there. That is a very interesting game.
Hold on, wards. Not yet.
No, not enough wards. It's just, there is so many wards, but there's not much action happening from Team Updog. I'm really curious. They did well to defend themselves right there, but they've got nothing left to hide. They've got no defenses left.
Yep, all 3 inhibitors down, no Nexus turrets. Baron is free for the taking. It should be very easy pickings for Noodles. Get the Baron, walk in the minions and just let the minions just kill the Nexus at this point of the game. And it's really up to Updog to try and steal this Baron or make a huge, insane play with this Fizz and Trundle, which they're trying to look right now.
Oh, Rakan goes in with an ulti, gets a 4-man knock-up. Lulu gets caught by Fish. Syndra knocked out of the way. Lulu does go down, but Fizz goes down as well in the process. It is now a change around. Skarner right on top of Rakan. Rakan jumps out of the way. Trundle is stuck. Kai'Sa goes right on top. Ulti's behind them. Goes down pretty easily to Kog'Maw. Kog'Maw is being 2v1. Takes down a double kill. He's looking for a third. He gets a triple kill. Rakan is out on his own. Predator is hot and active. Look at Skarner go. That little Scorpion is really trying to make a bounce. And that is a quadra kill for Kog'Maw. And just like that, the super minions just take the game right there. That is game 2, as well as the series tonight, everybody. Well done to Team Noodle Land and your miraculous 2-0 victory.
Yeah, and really well done from Team Noodle Land. They are able to book the tickets into the Grand Finals for the Division 2 E-League tournament. So they'll be waiting in that bracket, and hopefully all the best to them. Also, Updog, good props to them. They made it this far. Really well done. No shame in coming, top 4 in the tournament. They might have had a rough best of 3 series here, but hold their heads high. Hopefully they can do well in the next tournaments coming up.
Until then, guys, that is it from us here at the Caster's Desk. We wish you a great week and hope to see you again for the finals. My name is Reinhardt. I am joined by Shinzo. That is pretty much it from us. So, do you have any last words to say for us, Shinzo, before we go off?
Just thanks everyone whoever joined the cast today, and hopefully you enjoyed the games, and hopefully to see you again in the Grand Finals for this exciting tournament.